Dang it. Now it's working. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry, you know. All I was really saying was that it's been kind of a hectic morning, so part of the hecticness was the mic wasn't working. Is it working good now? Is it too loud? It looks like a little loud. Looks a little loud, so I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Yes, thank you guys. Thanks for the note on the mute. But listen, guys, I wanted to give you guys my live reaction to the Osiris League bets. We did win our big bet on 1473, so feeling good about that. We had a little bit on LX17 that did not work out. Let's look at the others. Look at the other realms if we had any bets here. And we can just look at the results too. I mean, we don't have to do the stuff that we had action on. Looks like 93X just absolutely demolished their opponents. 16OT with another impressive win there. Yep, we're good to go now, guys. Appreciate it. Looks like 1689 beat SIP. That's an interesting outcome. But it looks like most of our action is actually going to be at this 15 UTC time. And then I wonder, did we... You know what? We can probably rebet. I actually never thought to do this before. Oh, no, we can't because the betting is closed. Yeah, do you guys want to see me, like, train troops real quick for a Bastion? Sorry about this, but I've literally had this quest for, like, an hour and a half, but I've just been, like, running around doing stuff. So, I gotta get this quest done. I basically do not have a lot of training speed-ups, and I should not admit this, but I'm just going to. I basically forgot to do One Man's Treasure when it was up. I was just like very busy in real life, so I just like put it off once or twice and then just completely forgot that it existed. So I missed the One Man's Treasure, so I don't have a ton of training speed ups, and I need to save them for, you know, the duration of this KVK and doing Bastion quests. So basically all I'm going to do is upgrade I'm going to upgrade T4 to T5 because that's like so much cheaper on the speed ups. And I think I'll have enough to go the whole KVK. But I think it is certainly a pretty big mistake if you get into a position where you need to do the high value Bastion quests to get more crystals, but you end up having to use universals to do it. I think that's like really, really bad. So I'll show you. And then the other thing is like, I might get another training quest right now. That's the thing. Yeah, I knew it. Does anyone else think that, like, the whole way that these Bastions work is, like, very predictable, but also it's almost like you have to hack it correctly? Or, like, if you just keep refreshing and don't do any quests, you're never going to get a good one. But then once you start doing quests, then they give you the good ones, is my experience with these. I guess I'll just keep upgrading T5 Cav. Why not? But we got a really good Osiris League match here in about 10 minutes. We're going to watch 1592 against 1786. This figures to be a very close match, so this will be very interesting. And, you know, this figures to be two teams who are not elite Osiris League teams, but they are very good at KVK, and I would imagine they are good at Arc, like, right? Like they've probably practiced like a moderate amount, and they probably win most of their normal Arc matches. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these two teams play, because I guess what I'm saying is these are two teams who are probably better than my team, but not like way better than my team. So it'll just be interesting to see how they play. And I think I screwed this up. I didn't need to train this many, but you can't refresh to a whistle. You can't refresh to a whistle. Oh yeah, I mean you can't refresh, but you can't refresh to training, Dan. I've never just like had 20 here. I'll give you guys an example, right? This guy Kuso, right? I've barely done any Kuso quests. I would bet that if I reset all these, I'm not going to get anything, right? And we're about to stream, so why not just do it, right? Or I'll do a few. Now, I'm like, you see what I'm saying? I'm never going to get anything good. Like, I know I'm not going to get anything good here. I know it. I know I won't get anything good, right? And maybe that's going to screw up my Tamar here. I don't know. But I might get something really good from Tamar, you know? Even with these remaining ones, I might get something good from Tamar. It's very, like, almost predictable. See, now this time I refreshed to a whistle. But I refreshed to a whistle because I just did a quest. This would never have happened if I was just refreshed all 20. And I've only got 5 left today. I'm not going to be around all day, so I will do this quest because it's almost like you have to train it. It's almost like you have to train it to give you the quest that you want, but then it forgets very quickly, basically, right? It forgets very quickly. I don't know what I just did, but whatever. Hello, hey, Jedi Mind, what's going on, man? Jedi Mind is one of the leaders in our camp. We were talking Arc the other day, so pretty excited to have Jedi Mind as part of our team, part of the brain trust of Water Camp here, because we are in KVK, guys. We've got a war in about 6 days here in Salon. So, you know, we got the brain trust gathering here in chat. We got Jedi Mind here. We got Dan Kush here. So, you know, these are some of the, you know, Dan's a guy who doesn't talk a ton on voice, but he does say very productive and constructive and things when he does, right? And he's one of the guys who knows the most about, like, what's going on with commanders. So he says a lot of helpful stuff in Discord too. I need to take a sip here, guys. Anyway, that's the Bastions. You know, we're getting there. We're getting there. We've got plenty of crystals. We haven't really been doing the quests all the time. We can talk about the KVK a little bit after the match. We've got Champions of Olympia that we can do. We're testing, okay. Alright, guys. I guess we're back. Wait, did we give Rexian? Holy shit. Did we give Rexian a friggin' Hall of Heroes thing? Where did I find that? Where did I see that Hall of Heroes? Is it here? No. Where did I see that Hall of Heroes just now? It would fit with my current mood to realize that we gave Rexian a Hall of Heroes in 1770. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. If the music's playing, I can't hear it. I don't know if the music's playing. There we go. Yeah, guys, my computer is like a mess. It's like way overheated. I'm gonna go to my computer guy probably on Monday and see if he can do anything in the next like 5 days. Cause yeah, it's you ever have one of those days where, like, it should be a very good day, and then, like, it just starts off with some bad luck and just circumstances, and it kills your mood? I'm having one of those days. I'm definitely having one of those days. And yeah, that computer crash. I mean, the computer crashing at the start of a stream was like a bummer as hell. All right, anyway, guys, we'll see what we can do. Algebra, good luck in the match, man. Good luck in the match. Hopefully, I will not crash while the match is going on. What else was I going to do? Pointy building. They're all pointy. Every building is pointy. Yeah, no, I need to replace... One of the fans is dead. And I need to replace that. I probably should replace both. 2 fans. I just run my PC very hot all the time because I just am not able to control it. But, I mean, obviously we're about to go to war, so, like, I don't want to crash, right? And Osiris League, like, official channel Osiris League coverage is starting soon, so yeah. We'll see, guys. We'll see. Listen, if you're new to my channel, here's what I will say. You're seeing all these screw-ups. You're seeing a guy who doesn't even pretend when he's in a bad mood to be in a good mood. And yet, I do have a following. I do have people who tune in, right? So, ask yourself, how is that happening? How is a guy who makes this many blatant YouTube mistakes still able to have people who watch his streams? I think the answer is because I do provide genuinely good content, right? It might not be standard, slick YouTube stuff. I'm not doing Canyon because all my presets are messed up, right? I'm not doing Canyon because look, I'll join a Canyon match. Does anyone else get like? Does anyone else like constantly forget which of these they're supposed to select because you're constantly changing your commanders? Because I do. See, look, no gear. He's got gear. I think Sun Tzu has some gear. Arthur's got like 2 pieces of gear. Yeah, 3 pieces of gear on Arthur. I always forget. I always forget which one is like actually good. But let's just lock in on Osiris League here. We won our early bets. We won the early bets. We're doing good. We're rich in Oryx, if not rich in USD and optimal approaches to life. We at least are rich in Oryx. Here we go. Bet history. We still got a bunch of action here. The match has probably started. Let's get it going. But you just ask yourself, if a shit show like me is able to maintain a decent audience on YouTube, then what does that mean? What does that mean? It means that like my actual content, the heart of what is you're supposed to do as a YouTuber, which is to entertain the audience, or at least engage the audience to where they want to keep watching. I must be doing that part of it pretty well, right? If everything else is just a complete mess. Dutone, how's it going? We're going to jump back in the match, guys. I need to find this Hall of Heroes. The obelisk next to my frigging hospital. Oh, this? No. This is my city, guys. This is not an obelisk. This? No. What building? What's the name of the building? This? This. No. This. Where's my Hall of Heroes? Top left. Oh, this! The monument? Okay. Bro. This is the best one. This is the best one. Me and Ozzy didn't even say anything. White Castle just says the best Kingdom 1770. Or this is the second best one. The best one is this. The best one is Adinavo. His Hall of Heroes when we beat 20-68. Thank you all for giving me this great moment to stand before you, crowned in all my glory. This KVK was easy. From beginning to end, I toyed with my food like an oracle with a seal. So let's raise a toast not to the competition, but to the undisputed, unparalleled, and unequivocal victor, me. Remember this moment, for it's not every day you witness a master. Thank you and good night. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for one of the greatest R5s in the history of the game. Pour one out for Adinavo as we jump back in the Osiris League. And he did in fact toy with his enemy like an orca with a baby seal. To be fair, he actually did do that. And now I can't find this match. Here we go. All right, so listen, guys, we got a good match on our hands. It's going to kick off in 30 seconds. Everybody's teleported in. We've got VV in red. This is going to be 1592. They're a pretty heavily Korean kingdom, but they do have a lot of English-speaking players as well. Barney, who was in the chat earlier, it was a former member of 1592. Shout out to Barney and Big Kane, the 2 members of my channel. Very much appreciate your support. Shout out to everybody else who's in the chat. Shout out to everybody who throws a like on this stream, who throws a sub my way. And we are underway here in the Osiris League. Week number 2, 1786 versus VV. And we've got both teams using energetic off the start. Like I said, we see the elite teams not really using energetic. But Jedi Mind, you will note that these very good teams, they do use energetic. So some teams can make it work, some teams can't. I personally am not able to make energetic work, right? Because the no mark is just so expensive. But listen, one thing we can watch in this match is we can... Here, let me get rid of the webcam. Well, actually, let's just keep the webcam on this week and see how the views do compared to no webcam last week. Let's just try it out. Let's try it out, guys. Yeah, one thing we can watch this week as both teams roll out is let's see if they use energetic throughout the match and how they integrate that with no mark and also how they integrate that with going mid, okay? So we're going to try to keep track of the points of these two teams, and I'm sure we'll fail at it heartily. Obelisk gets captured by blue. First obelisk capture is actually for blue, just by a couple seconds, though. Actually, by... Do we have these times right, guys? Is it... Oh, no. I'm looking at the wrong building. Yeah, about 10 seconds. Blue got to the first obelisk about 10 seconds before red. And then blue also getting to their long-distance obelisk first by a decent amount. About 20 seconds. So... 1786 does look a little bit sharper off the bat. Frost saying he's going to max Hector for pass 4 or Philip. That's an interesting question, Frost. You know, Cortex and Chisgul did a lot of testing last night of the new commander Vercingetorix. Let me put up a poll here, guys. I'm going to put up a poll. How many... Thug, I'm going to keep the chat on, I think. Well, okay, I'll turn it off. I'll turn the chat off. That's all right. We'll give it a shot. We'll experiment here. We'll experiment. Yeah, so here's the poll, guys. Will we see Vercingetorix in this match? Like, did anybody max Vercingetorix? Vercingetorix in this match. Yeah, vote in the poll, guys. Did anyone think that Vercingetorix was good enough to match for this important Osiris League match today? I am gonna bet that no one did. I don't think anybody did. Actually, they won't let me vote, I guess. Or I don't know. I guess... I'm not sure if I voted or not, but anyway. The thing is, you have to... You basically... The only pairs that we know he's good with is, like, Sun Tzu and then, like, maybe BQ. But, like, the biggest conclusion from Chisgul and Cortex's testing was that Philip is basically better than Vercingetorix. Like, as buffers go, as support commanders go... Philip just seems to perform better than the new one. So, like, and the thing is, last week we barely saw Philip. We barely saw Philip in Osiris League last week. Now, it'll be interesting to see if we see him this week. Let's take a look. Let's see what's behind this LC, for example. Let's see what's behind Aladdin's LC here as the two teams engage at the Desert Altar. 1786 picking them up aggressively here in front of the building. Pretty big numbers, though, for the red team here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what this LC is doing. Can he get a skill off? The LC got melted so fast that I don't... Oh, it's LC Alex. Okay, so this person here is choosing to run Alex instead of either Philip or Vercingetorix, right? So that's pretty crazy right off the rip here. Right off the rip, that's pretty freaking crazy. Now, we can look around, and if somebody does see Vercingetorix, let me know in the chat. 3D, another teammate of mine here in Camp Water. How's it going, man? 6 says Philip is just a hospital bill. Yeah, but Philip does... You know, the thing about Philip, though, is he does make the other commanders better, and in 5v5 testing, Philip is oftentimes the difference between winning and losing. So here at this building, red team looking like they're going to maybe win the fight, but I think blue is pretty good at the structure. Let's look at what is happening elsewhere on the map, and let's just hope that my PC does not crash again, guys. So, yeah, not a big attack by blue on this Sky Altar. It looks like blue's pretty defensive here in the top side. They tried to be aggressive on this inside lane. It's not going to work. So account strength-wise, we feel like VV looks a little bit better here early. It's not as if VV is losing any of these engages, but we do have to say that blue was pretty aggressive in some of these lanes, like aggressive defense posture by blue at both of their altars. They didn't just stand at the altar, they pushed up forward from the altar. Now, the issue with that is that some of your marches aren't going to get to the initial fight. It's going to be more so the enemy who gets full numbers to that fight if you fight it on their side. And so, yeah, over here we do see that red has really wiped the enemy. 86 NS unable to get a garrison into this desert altar. That's a big deal. Irgundir saying it'll be funny if Vercingetorix is an infantry commander. Well, the one thing, though, Irgundir, is that for people like me who have 2 infantry sets of gear and run 2 infantry marches, we never built Wallace, right? We never built Wallace, and for many of us, we also never even built, like, Ragnar Prime, right? So for me, if I can run, you know, something like Sun Tzu LC and BQ Vercingetorix, okay, that would probably upgrade from what I'm doing now. But the thing about it is, I think I'm better off just building Hector and then moving my Philip behind the BQ, running Arthur Hector, and then I just don't need Vercingetorix anyway, guys. So look, the Desert Altar does get flipped here by VV. They don't have a garrison in either, but this really disrupts the mid approach of blue, because blue does need to try to get this building back. Mid is going to spawn in 5.5 minutes. This first capture is going to be in 2.5 minutes. So blue, they're balling up, like, disciplined approach from blue here to try to take this building back. They likely have a rally that's being planned. Yeah, it looks like they've got a rally that's preparing here. But red wants to hold this building, right? 2 minutes away from first capture on this building. And red is going to go for it. They've got even yellow health marches are just kind of like waiting. They're not killing themselves off. They're waiting. I do think blue has enough here to quickly wipe red, and they're probably going to get this building back. Let's see if there's rains coming here. Not really rains, but there is open field help coming from red. And then over here on this side, red also took the Sky Altar, guys. So we are seeing that VV does have really substantial account strength diff here. They're actually smoking 86 NS. We probably should have put more Oryx on VV here. But let's see how these two teams handle the mid. You can see, though, that 86 NS is in a lot of trouble here. Their first mid is so disrupted. They've got to figure out so many things in the next 90 seconds to try to secure these first captures. Because as a reminder, people, the first capture bonus is 750 points. So that's a quarter. That's actually a quarter of this first arc, and which is worth 3,000 points. And if VV were able to get both, that would be 1,500 or half of an arc. But it does look like on this top side, 86 NS, they will likely get this building back. They've got the full rally here. They've got the full Scipio Ivar rally. No, it's actually a Scipio Pakal rally. Interesting. Wow, Scipio Pakal rally from 86 NS. That's a spicy number right there. But blue team does get their own Desert Altar back. They have flipped the Sky Altar, so a good disruption here by blue on this building with the full rally. The full rally gets out very... Actually, no, this was the garrison. And then the Archer rally ends up beating it with the Swarm. So a really nice attack here by 86 NS on the Sky Altar. Very nice attack, and then they swap to the CY garrison. But we've got mid starting in 3 minutes. Dan saying he didn't really like the testing last night. I do think that the 5 versus 5 where like no one runs away is not a perfect test. It lasts so long. I think the problem with that test is that it lasts so long. Even in a stacking situation, I don't really think a fight necessarily lasts as long as the fights that Cortex and Chisgo were doing yesterday. But at the same time, Dan, I don't know how else you test it. Like, I don't know what a better test would really be. And the thing about it is, guys, like, you know, we talk about the importance of the fill-up in the testing that was done yesterday, right? Like, the fill-up was the standout performer in those 5v5s. But, and so, like, we got an actual measure of Philip's value. Whereas, like, when you're in KVK, you never measure Philip. Philip never gets measured. He just can't be measured, right? Because all people do is look at the reports. The reports are not that great. And you're just never getting an identical fight where you can... And look at this. Blue does take back both buildings, right? I'm not sure if they got the first capture here or not. Looks like they might have, because the score is even. Or, you know, they didn't get the first capture, but they didn't let the enemy get it either. So listen, Blue is probably... interesting. Blue is kind of like mobilizing pretty well here at the moment, right? They've taken back their own buildings, and they have decent numbers mid. Now, you can see that these players on the outside lane who took back the Sky Altar, they are unable to go to mid. Like, they just have no chance at mid. To the death getting cast mid by Blue. They're just going to engage here. VV is going to run away. Pretty good engage here from 86NS. A couple of really good minutes from VV here. This is a very good to the death. I mean, they're just winning this fight. They all engaged together. VV might have overextended. VV had no vision. Really had no vision of what was coming from Blue, but they extended it anyway. Might have been a fake mid by VV or a give up. But here's the thing, guys. They cast no mark, but like, where's the attack? You know what I mean? Like, where is the attack that's justifying this no mark usage? I think that's just a give up a no mark where it's like, we're not going to win mid, so we're going to use no mark. You wonder if they could have turned this, though, because they've got the better account strength. And I don't know. I mean, the numbers are not crazy here. To me, the numbers are not crazy here. And the enemy team had already burned to the death. You know, they'd already used their to the death to get to this position. Why not use, like, Heaven's Grace plus War Drums, for example? And you might have been able to win that mid, but as it is, listen, 86NS, they're going to win that mid. And we got a game on our hands. We definitely have a game on our hands. Looks like VV has the better account strength, but looks like 86NS is probably the more organized team. Now, interesting here, we saw this group from Blue. We wondered what they were going to do with their marches. Ultimately, they weren't able to attack any enemy buildings, and they kind of just turned around to defend this building. I think that is ultimately a good decision. One of the things that you do not want to do in Arc is you do not want to overrun your coverage, right? Which is a football term, and I don't know exactly what it means, but basically in Arc what it means is you don't want all your marches attacking, and then the enemy just walks right past you and attacks your own building and takes it, right? It's what is it? It's like outkick your coverage, or yeah, you don't want to outkick your coverage. You don't want to outkick your coverage, which means like you kick the ball so friggin' far that the opponent like gets like a good run back. I think, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why I'm messing up that phrase, but anyway. Friggin' just says, makes me wonder what the point of introducing Verse into the game was at all. It just came out of nowhere. Yeah, it's an interesting choice, honestly. It really is an interesting choice. I mean, listen, Lilith has a track record of releasing some commanders that are just not any good. I mean, you know, when Irgundir says that, I just go back to Eleanor. I go back to, as a Cav Garrison, I just go back to Eleanor, and I'm like, Eleanor was bad from the start. Like, she was just not meta from the start. Like, yes, she got used in Arc. I mean, at least Eleanor is good in Arc. Vercingetorix is not going to get used in Arc. For sure not. So, like, yeah. Yeah, Vercingetorix is, you know... My disappointment with Vercingetorix is that I thought it was a very good idea, right? I thought with the way that KVK Open Field is played nowadays, with the stacking meta, the stacking meta, where like if you are a face tanking player who stacks for your team and is the front line for your team, you are super valuable. Like in my opinion, face tanking stackers are the most important players in every kingdom. They're not going to get the best reports. They are not going to get the best reports. But for me, the face tanking stackers are the key to every kingdom's open field success, right? So if you give those players a commander that is giving shields to all their other commanders and making them more tanky, that is really good. Like, I do think that face tanking stackers need tanky commanders. And I thought Vercingetorix would be like the ultimate tanky commander. But I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's just good enough. He doesn't perform well enough to justify that role. Now, to be fair, the way that Cortex and Chisgul tested it, they didn't test it like as stackers. They just tested it as like a 5v5 duel type situation. But yeah. So listen, 30% or 40% of people think we're going to see a Versi in this match. I'm not sure we've seen it yet. Let's see what's behind this Sun Tzu. Oh, looks like the Sun Tzu died. Oh, we saw it! Look at this! We see the Vercingetorix, guys. We see the Vercingetorix in this match. Boobily. Boobily with the Sun Tzu Verk. Here we go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We spotted the Vercingetorix. He lives. Vercingetorix lives, everybody, in 2026. And look at this. Look at all the buffs. Look at all the buffing that Vercingetorix provided in this fight. Just carrying the day. Ooh, Billy just carrying the day with that one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. So monster spawning really soon, guys. Monster spawning in 45 seconds. Red team bringing a few people here. But look, Blue's going to try to disrupt this. Blue's going to try to take the enemy monster. But then over here, it's almost as if both teams are taking the enemy's monster. It's backwards. Red team going to the monster that it takes them longer to walk to. Blue team going to the monster that it takes them longer to walk to. Very interesting stuff. Dutone says he already saw an Arthur Versi. Okay. Oh, so Frost saw it earlier. Sorry about that. Yep. So, interesting. A couple of Vercingetorixes here. Very interesting stuff, guys. You know, one of the things that I thought about when I was watching Chisgul and Cortex's testing last night was, do any kingdoms actually test in a robust way? Because it was almost as if, you know, Cortex had never realized how strong Philip was before, right? But I mean, Cortex was in 2489, right? And he was in 960 before that. And so it's like, did these kingdoms never like do isolated tests in Osiris test maps to see how valuable Philip is, to tell players like, do you run Philip as part of your 5-march setup, or do you wait till 6 marches? Does everyone have to build Philip? I was like, do kingdoms just like never do these tests and like no one knows? Like, it was very interesting. And when we see the two Vercingetorixes in this match, right, one on each side, we have to ask ourselves 2 questions. Number one, are these two teams so freaking intense about Ark of Osiris that they literally did robust testing last night to figure out that Vercingetorix is good to have on the field? Or are these players just straight YOLOing it with like no logic whatsoever, and they're just like, I'm gonna build Vercingetorix because I can, and then I'm gonna run him in Ark immediately because like I just maxed the dude, right? I tend to think it's the latter, right? I tend to think these are just individual player choices and there's not much behind it. Here's a Philip as well. We see the Philip here behind the LC. So we might want to like look a little bit longer to see how many Philips are out here. But here again, we see another LC Alex. This is from a different player. This is from a different player, right? So it's very interesting, right? Like what is meta and how much of what is meta gets communicated to a team. Because like some people are running LC Alex, some people are running LC Philip. You got to figure both. You got to figure these players have both, right? You got to figure some of these players are just choosing to run LC Alex instead of LC Philip. Here's another LC Philip. So like, what is all of this based on? Like, what is all of this based on? I think it's fair. I think it's fairly random, but like at the same time, there's got to be some kingdoms out there who actually know this stuff and they keep it to themselves, and they probably have like a very good advantage from it. Doug says he runs LC Alex because more march speed. I mean, that does make sense. That does make sense, but I mean, look at how much fighting there is. Look at how much non-back and forth fighting there is, where I do think a Philip, and to some extent a Vercingetorix as well. Here's another one. Here's the Versi. Here's the Versi, the Arthur Versi. I mean, this march performed very poorly in testing. This march performed very poorly in testing. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Hopefully I'm not too loud here, guys. It looks like I'm, you know, it looks like I'm a little loud. Looks like I'm a little loud, but let's see how the views are doing. I mean, the views are getting up there, so I guess the audio's all right with you all. I get excited, guys. I get excited. And, you know, listen, at the end of the day, even if Vercingetorix is not meta, and more importantly, even if he's not worth building, I think, you know, at the end of the day, the testing that Chisel and Cortex did last night, it just like sparked thoughts in my own head about some things. And, you know, we've got a war coming up in 5 or 6 days, so we are thinking about things. We are trying to, you know, be as optimal as possible. Let's put it that way. But, you know, let's see. This match right now, you know, we've got 86NS. They've got the 3.5K point lead, and they did return the Ark quickly. They returned the Ark quickly. Ark's going to spawn in 7 minutes. Neither team used a ton of points mid. VV used 8. 86NS used 6. Now, the thing we have to say about 86NS right now is that they have not used No Mark, but they have used To the Death. And another mid is about to come up. So this does put 86NS in a tough situation where they can either use Time Warp to reset their To the Death and then only have one No Mark in the match, or they can not use To the Death and try to win the mid with their other skills. And then you know, cast No Mark twice in the final 30 minutes of the match. Both of those are tough situations. That is a slight edge for VV, but, you know, not a lot else going VV's way right now. They do have a few gatherers out. They've got 3 gatherers out, but then 86NS has 4 gatherers out, right? So VV trying to figure out what the solution is to get to square this score up. If they can win the next arc, then they do tie the game up. And I think that's what VV has to be thinking about right now. You've got 6 minutes before the next arc. None of these fights, none of these attacks look promising. None of VV's attacks look promising. This one's not going to work. They're defending at the Desert Altar. This fight, they just wiped. They pretty much just wiped here at this Desert Altar. You know, the rally's still up. Interesting what 86NS is doing. 86NS playing aggressively, right? They're playing aggressively. All their defenses are in front of their own buildings, like every single one. And 86NS is just kind of chilling here. You know, they're swarming this a little bit just to make sure they hold the building, but they're wanting this rally to last as long as it can. And then meanwhile, you've got a pretty big mob here headed towards this Shrine of War. I think this Shrine of War does get swarmed down. So if you're VV at this point, I think what you have to do is you need to just secure your Shrine of War and then go mid and don't overextend like you did last time, right? Now they do flip the Shrine of War here. Good flip. Good flip from VV. Looks like this was a rally. Where's the rally? No, it looks like it was just a swarm. It was just a poorly garrisoned, a very poorly garrisoned building here from 86.9S. So a mistake there from Blue gives a quick flip. But are they just going to flip each other's Shrine of War? Not sure. David Hector here holding pretty good. You've got VV thinking about swarming. Look at these choices. Look at the choices VV's making here. They want to go to mid early. They want to go to mid early this time. I think VV's going to be very serious about taking the second mid here. If you look at the ratio real quick, guys, they're dominating. VV is dominating in ratio, so they probably feel like they can win the mid. They've got their buildings right now. No promising attacks from VV. It's just all going mid. And look at this. Look at this. 86NS. They can just skip mid. The thing about 86NS here, they can just skip mid. And I think that's the play. I think the play for 86NS is skip mid, use no mark, and then they're going to have a lead. They will have a lead, right? Because this no mark is probably going to be quite good. And we see that VV they're adjusting a little bit, right? They're going heavy mid, but they still have a lot of people on the side. A lot of people on the side. Yeah, Alex does have a good buff as well. If I remember, it's a debuff, right? He's got a crazy debuff. So there's dust up from 86NS. Probably for this fight here, really. I think it's probably for this fight, because here comes the rally. Yeah, full rally here. It's going to be QSH Shapur. Now, one question I need to figure out in the next 5 or 6 days is this QSH primary an arc thing, or is this meta for KVK as well? I mean, the whole thing is crazy, right? Because you're not using Asher at all. All these people are using QSH Shapur rallies, when I feel like for the last year or so, we've been running Shapur Asher rallies. Is this because of all the swarming that's happening here? Or is this going to be meta in KVK as well? We're going to have to figure that out. And, I think one thing well, I'm not going to say this one, but I do have an idea of how we can sort of like real-time monitor the meta for our fight next Thursday on July 11th. So here we go, guys. We've got 2.5 minutes until the arc. It's going to be about a 2,500 point lead for blue. There's the dust up from red. And yeah, so we do see the skip. We see that blue is skipping mid. We see that they have flipped the Sky Altar. This was a tough fight here at this building, but this is a big, big flip. Very big flip for 86NS. They get the CY Garrison in there. They get the CY Garrison in, right? So this one's going to take a little while for VV to get this thing back, right? They've got the no mark active, and I would imagine that this is... No, this is not. So they don't have a rally yet up on this Sky Altar. I think it might have just started. I think Jack might have... Yeah, it looks like Jack just started the rally onto this building. So 86NS, they're going to clock several minutes with no mark, and you can see that they have a very, very good points lead. So... And then sneaky tactics here. Sneaky tactics from 86NS. They're going to try to just like distract red mid. They know that red has a lot of marches mid. I mean, they sort of know red has a lot of marches mid. And so they're going to just try to clog up the middle here and delay this arc return as they get value from their no mark. And they are getting value from their no mark. And they flip the Shrine of Life as well. Look at this. So 86NS, just a very solid play, guys. Very solid play here by 86NS, using that no mark and skipping the mid. Now they're reset, right? Their bar is reset. They've used To the Death once. Wait, did they not use no mark? What am I tripping here? Oh, they didn't even use no mark. I thought they were going to use no mark, but they didn't. Maybe they don't have it on the bar. Interesting. Interesting. So they skip mid, they get the buildings. Now they flip the Shrine of War as well. By skipping middle, 86NS got 3 buildings from VV. You'd love it if they had no mark, guys. I mean, you would love it if they had no mark. Kind of a big mistake here to not have it. They're getting 590 points per minute, but my gosh, if they had no mark on right now, they'd be at like 800 or 900. And the master strategy from... They're going to try to steal the arc. They're going to try to steal the arc. 86NS with the master strategy. They're going to try to steal the arc. They look pretty good here. They can't be seen. No. VV has the arc. VV has the arc. A failed sneaky tactics plus master strategy. I'm sitting there, the conservative commentator that I am, I'm sitting there saying, you've got all the enemy buildings. Why not use no mark, the greatest skill in the game, to get you a ton of points? But 86NS, they had a completely different plan. They wanted to use sneaky tactics plus master strategy to try to steal the arc. I mean, you just hit 4 singles in a row. You don't have to go for the friggin' home run. Just score you got the bases loaded, just hit a single and score the runner. Don't swing for the fences, guys. Big mistake by 86NS. I mean, they might not even have no mark on the bar. They had warp on the bar. But I mean, my gosh, guys, that's a huge swing right there. A huge, huge swing for VV. 86NS, they dumped their entire skill bar on that and got nothing from it. They got really nothing from it. I mean, at the end of the day, Red still has a lot of marches on the side. They're not having to recommit more marches to mid. And look at this. Blue's just sad facing hard or walking back. They're walking back. The Huo's walking back. The Arthur's walking back. These are 2 separate players who tried to go mid and they just wasted a ton of time. And VV has taken the Shrine of War once again. With this arc being captured, it's going to be basically a tie game. We basically have a tie game right now. And here's the key, guys. Here's the biggest part of this. 86NS, they use 9 points mid. VV used 2. They used 2 points, and they used they used energetic as well, so they're getting most of those points back, right? So VV has an almost full skill bar right now, whereas NX has a depleted skill bar. A depleted skill bar. So VV is very likely to return this arc super fast. It looks like they're just headed to the Desert Altar to return this thing, and then they want to do a 3rd mid quick while they have the skill bar advantage. Big mistake by 86NS. Big mistake. Now, if they don't have no mark on the bar and they had master strategy, then that's something that they had to do. That is something they had to do. But I don't know how you are this good at arc and then you make it a key part of your strategy to try and steal the arc with sneaky tactics plus master strategy. I mean, just put the... I mean, they don't have time warp or they don't have no mark, right? Just put the 2 best skills in the game on the bar. Just put time warp and no mark on the bar and win the match. I don't know, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it. They're playing so good, though. 86NS is playing so good. Hum Farm saying that it's arc, counterattack plus no real deads. So we're going to probably stick to the Shapur Asher rallies in KVK. Thank you, Hum Farm, for that one. Brave, appreciate you. Do throw a like on this stream, guys, if you are enjoying this action. We got a real match on our hands here. On the scoreboard, blue team does have a lead. However, I think actually that VV right now is the favorite to win this match. I do think they're the favorite to win the match. Now, they're redirecting, so this is kind of good for 86NS in a way. In a way, it's good for them to delay this arc, but they do need to delay the arc. They need to delay this arc return as long as possible to rebuild their skill bar. They have to try to rebuild their skill bar. Look at this. VV is just capped. VV is capped on skill points, so they're just going to cast Desert Storm at their Desert Altar to nuke down the enemy. So Desert Storm from the side for VV here, because their skill bar was just completely full. So at this point, I'm thinking VV has about 7 skill points, and I am betting that 86NS has about 3. Another thing we have to remember here is that 86NS has the lead in the match, and so actually their points are generating more slowly than VV's points. So again, I just think that if you're VV, you want to return this arc as quick as possible. I probably redirect at this point. I probably redirect this Achilles and return it to this Desert Altar. At this point, the time difference isn't too much, but you really want to return this arc as fast as possible if you're red. You really do. So let's see, what other promising attacks do we have? We do have a promising attack here, again on the inside lane. Love how this inside lane is played. Really good coordinated movement by the 86NS inside lane here. They really haven't lost their own building much, and they've been flipping this Shrine of War pretty consistently. Let's see if they can get it here. We've got the Scipio Pakal rally, so 86NS really leaning on that anti-swarm capability. Boy, this is interesting to see Pakal here, man. Very interesting. You know, I'm thinking about it for my own matches, right? Because we do have one of our 2 infantry rally leads actually has Arch. So like you sort of wonder, could he just run a Scipio Pakal instead of running, I think he's running like Scipio, not Ivar. I think he's running like Scipio Tariq or something, right? So, the only thing is we play slightly smaller matches. And so in that sense, there's less swarm, right? When you don't play a 30-person match, there's less swarm, and the anti-swarm garrisons is less important. So big hold here for VV so far. Yeah, big hold for VV there. It was a tough attack to absorb, but they absorbed it. Look at all these reigns. Look at all the reigns from VV. This is high-level play right here to get this many reigns into a garrison in a very short amount of time. They put in 7 marches in about 90 seconds, in exactly 90 seconds. So really good defense there for VV. The David Hector holding up well against that Scipio rally. And so they hold the building. They're still holding Arc. Oh no, they just returned it. They just returned the Arc. Okay. So there's 8 minutes, guys. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of time for side play before this third mid. You're not... And we got a tie game. We have a dead, tied up game. Probably just 1 mid to go. Maybe 2 mids, but whoever wins this third mid has no motivation whatsoever to return the third Arc. And so you're probably not going to see it. So last Arc, tie game. Really good match. It was looking, early on in this match, it was looking like 86NS was the more organized team. And they have been very coordinated with their movements, and they've been very successful taking buildings from a team that has more account strength than them. So 86NS, they really have played good. Look at this. We see another like good attack from Blue here. Another good attack. VV's kind of like realizing what the score is, I think. VV's realizing that they really can't take enemy buildings very often. And so they just need to play defense and win this third mid. We still have not seen a straight up mid fight between these two teams. We are 2/3 of the way through this match, and we have yet to have a straightforward mid fight. I think we're going to have it on this third one. I think there's no getting around the fact that both teams have to win this third mid, and so I do think you're going to see everybody going to mid. Here you see the VV rally unfilled. Really, like one person filled this rally, and a Peach is here by themselves, probably because Monster was just taken, right? Our Monster is up. Monster is up right now, so a Peach is doing a distraction. He's distracting, and the rest of his team is going to Monster. The second Monster gives you a points bonus, and it gives you 20% march speed. So you do want to get one of these monsters for this third mid. Looks like Red's going to get this first monster. They got to it quick, and they're taking it down. Blue's trying to get in, though. Blue's trying to get in and have a say here. Maybe try to steal it. Maybe try to disrupt the entire process. They cannot disrupt this process. The only thing Blue can do here is try to steal this thing. It is last hit that wins it. Last hit wins it, and you will know which team won it by a buff appearing around these marches. This monster is going down real fast. Real fast. There it goes. Who got it? It looks like, yeah, it's going to be Red. Red got that monster. Let's look at the other monster now. Oh, this one was already taken. Not sure who got it. Yeah, Peach is a good player. I've played with him before. Yep. So you can see that like the buff is only on Red. Like you can see, right? You can see that the Blue doesn't have the buff on their marches. Maybe it's because they died. Maybe they do have the buff. Maybe both teams do have the buff. Looks like maybe both teams took one monster there. Let's look at the score per minute. Yeah, it kind of feels like 86NS got this top monster, but I'm not like 100% sure of that actually. So here we go. We've got 4.5 minutes before the next arc. You can see Red's just going early. Red went crazy early. You know, I think this is a classic battle of one team that is like more coordinated and better practiced at Arc, which is the Blue team, playing against the team with the better account strength, Red. And the adjustment that Red has made at this point is to say, listen, guys, we're not going to try to do too much on the sides, right? We're not going to try to do too much. Let's get to mid. Let's make sure we get to mid. Now, if I'm Red, I'm posturing up here. At this point, I'm posturing up. But the biggest issue that I am seeing with red here is the lack of vision mid. We have yet to see a single sentry get placed in this entire game by red in the middle. And that's crazy, right? Like, that's crazy. So blue's like seeing all this movement. Blue's seeing everything that red's doing. Red has no clue, no earthly idea what their opponent is doing at this mid. And it's like, you've got the temple. So just drop a sentry right here, brother. Just drop a sentry right here and protect it. Then you see all this. Then you see all this, and you counter sentry any enemy sentries that get placed at the building. You know, so that's my issue with red, is they just aren't giving themselves vision. So this is going to be big, guys. You can see both teams are just heavily mobilizing mid. This is going to be an all-in mid play. Still pretty much a tie game. VV has taken a bit of a lead here. VV has taken a bit of a lead here. Maybe by virtue of the monster. Maybe VV got both of those monsters. Not exactly sure. Not exactly sure. The march speed didn't really affect a lot, though. The march speed didn't affect a lot. And we've got a very close game here. Let's just quickly check if any of the gatherers have come in. None of the gatherers have really come in. We felt like... And so 86NS is keeping their gatherers out. Both teams keeping their gatherers out for this mid. I think either team could have gotten a nice advantage if they bring these gatherers in and go, you know, have those marches go to the mid. That's 3 or 4 extra marches you need for this mid fight. And I think especially if you're 86NS, you need it, right? You just need that. There's the time warp from 86NS. They're going to use the time warp early. Look, you can see that 86NS, this is a pure counter ward. They're just counter warding the enemy, but red, there's nothing to counter ward because red has still never dropped a sentry mid this entire match. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Siege, the first line of defense here for red. Blue's getting very close without any sort of engagement. We had Dust Up from Goku. There's the To the Death from 86NS. They just want to just go in and use To the Death. The counter To the Death from Goku from VV. So a slight skill point advantage here for red. They've got 2 extra points with this Dust Up, and they have the better account strength. Let's look at the numbers real quick. Numbers are... I mean, I like red's positioning. I like how red looks here, but the sad faces are coming out more so for red. That early To the Death from 86NS, it started to do damage quickly. 86NS, they're leaning on him. They're leaning on him pretty hard here. The blue team leaning on their opponent, trying to secure this final arc in this extremely close, extremely important Osiris League match. 1 minute before this thing spawns, and I think this thing's going to be decided before the arc spawns, and it's going to be 86NS who's going to be taking this third arc. Unbelievable. Good engage by 86NS. They did move in together. Very interesting. Very good To the Deaths by 86NS. They got so much value from both. You know, I like the counter To the Deaths, but in this instance, it was really the aggressive opening with the To the Death that won the day. Interesting fight there. Did not expect that outcome. I think maybe 86NS had better numbers. Not really sure. But that's a huge win for blue, and our Oryx are in deep trouble here. We are in deep trouble with the Oryx on this match. VV... Yeah, it's a tie game. It's literally a tie game. You see that one gatherer did come in. One gatherer for blue did come in. I don't think they got to mid in time, but you know. So if you're VV at this point, you don't have a lot of answers. You just don't have a lot of answers for what to do next. You've struggled to take the enemy. You need to ambush. Like, at the end of the day, you need to ambush. Like, the only way you win is to ambush. But, like, you know, these players are just going outside lane. You know, they're just going outside lane. I mean, if I'm these guys, I'm, like, trying to loop around almost. I don't know. You see that the blue, like, they kind of, I mean, they're handling a potential ambush pretty well here. On this side, not so much. The ambush has a little bit of a chance here on the top side. The ambush is, you know, it at least has a fighting chance. But the escort, look at the size of the escort, though, from 86NS. You know, ultimately, very solid play. I didn't like the arc steal at the middle because I think maybe you try to... but they didn't have no mark. Like, at the end of the day, guys, they did not have no mark on the bar. So they used the warp. And ultimately, like, if they put the warp on their bar for this match, then they've obviously used the warp well at times in the past. Very good play from 86NS here. You can tell that this is a well-practiced arc team that makes very good decisions. Like, very impressive play from 86NS. I mean, they are getting smoked on ratio. They are getting smoked in this match on ratio, and yet they are winning the match. And that's just an outplay. Like, 86NS is just outplaying VV here. And you can see why. I mean, you can really see why, right? Because their attacks have been very good. We did note early on that they did grab their obelisks faster than the red team did. And then, like, you just have to do a big escort here. Like, it doesn't matter because red team barely ambushed. But, like, you have to do, like, a really good escort because this is your win condition. You return this arc, you win the match. You get ambushed, you might not win the match. So they had a huge escort of, like, 25 marches. That's what you want to do, guys. Ultimately, it's marches moving together that has been really good for 86NS here, right? They moved together. I mean, we even saw early in the match. Where blue marches were like pushing down to here. We thought they would attack, and they all backed the truck up and got back to the Sky Altar to try to defend it. Now, listen, Sky Altar does get flipped here. Sky Altar gets flipped, and VV should have another no mark, I think. Yeah, we're guessing that the last skill for VV is going to be Time Warp. They're going to get 6 points before this match is over. So VV will have another no mark, right? They will have another no mark. They're going to be down 3,500 points, though. This third arc is going to be worth 4,000 points. So VV has to make up 3,500 points. If they could have a 350 point advantage for 10 minutes the rest of this match, then they can do it. It's doable if they can do it. And look, they've taken so many buildings. Red has taken so many buildings at this point. Blue was mid and blue was escorting. So these refreshed red marches that died mid, they've taken a lot of buildings from blue team. They've taken both altars. So red team does have all 4 altars right now, and they're pretty thick. They're pretty thick here, right? Well, but here comes the rally. Quick rally back out from 86NS. They're trying to get this building back before VV generates any points from it. Let's see, they're going to swarm this rally down. The Scipio Pokal doing its job of being that anti-swarm garrison or anti-swarm rally that really chunks down these marches fast. Like, look at how fast Goku's Huo goes down. The Huo Arthur here. We are seeing Huo Arthur a lot in Osiris League. It does seem like the meta for 2 cav marches is going to be Achilles GG and then Huo Arthur as the 2 marches. Very interesting that Wedge 2 giving Huo additional life in 2026. And you wonder, like, what do you do with Wedge Cav going forward? I mean, if these players converted to Wedge 2 Cav for Huo, I mean, what do you do when new Cav commanders come out? Are you still going to be keeping all those amazing inscriptions on Huo Qbing? I don't know. But VV holds. VV does hold the building for now. The CY Garrison. And this is what VV needs. They need massive building action here in order to get back into this match. Blue's just going to hold the arc. They're going to hold the arc for a couple more minutes, so it's the last arc of the game. And meanwhile, VV is just furiously trying to hold enemy buildings and bring this score back to a point where maybe, just maybe, they can win. You know, if you're VV, you'd love to be casting that no mark right now. This will be a wonderful time to have no mark, but they just don't have the skill points for it. They unfortunately just do not have the skill points to cast a second no mark at this point. 86NS getting their Desert Altar back. They needed it. It was that second effort to get the building back. And now let's see what 86NS does here. Like, do they attack? I would attack. You know, 86NS knows they need to just play defense, but I think they're going to attack. And this is interesting. Like, they're going to the Sky Altar. I don't think Blue knows yet that there's a big attack going to their Shrine of Life. So they've got a small group going to the Sky Altar. Interesting. And then everybody else is actually just going to play defense. The inside lane's just going to play defense. No attack was going to really work there. The other marches are refreshing. Vivi still has the Sky Altar. They still have the Sky Altar. So, I mean, listen. Here comes the rally. It looks like this one's going to work just fine. It's a full rally. They've cleared the field. So, but look at the score, though. Look at the score. It's getting closer and closer, and Vivi still has that no mark in their back pocket. I think at this point, if you're 86 NS, and there's the time warp, and here comes the no mark. Here's that last no mark from Goku. They get it off in time. We can quickly see the scoring. Look at this, 300 points per minute. Look at now almost 500, like 480 points per minute advantage for the last 8 minutes of the match. That's going to be about 3,500 points. So if Red can hold the status quo of what they have right now, this match becomes very, very close. Very close. Not sure if the chat has nobody chatting or if... Okay, it's just a quiet chat. It's just a quiet chat. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody's just enjoying the action here. That's fine with me. So listen, guys. There's the building flip. There's the building flip back. We see the points again. It's still in Vivi's favor, though. With the no mark, it's still in Vivi's favor. And it's going to take 2 minutes for this building to start generating points. I mean, at this point, like, the outposts matter. No pressure really on the outposts. If you're Vivi and you can flip like one more building, I think you've got a shot here. I do think you've got a shot if you can flip one more building. I don't know why they're not returning the Arc. They can certainly return the Arc. There's no reason not to return this Arc right now. It would make it my job a little bit easier because I would see the actual score. But to update you all, Blue Team still has the advantage here. And as played, VV is on pace to get about 2,400 more points. That is going to change, though, because this building is going to go in Blue's favor and the no mark is going to wear off. But then the Shrine of Life just got flipped, guys. The Shrine of Life got flipped. So this is like a complete inversion of what you would ever expect. It shows you how momentum in these arc matches is such a big deal. VV has had a lot of side momentum now for several minutes. And so you oftentimes think that like the team that plays better is going to do better at the sides and the team with the stronger account strength is going to do better mid. But that is not what's happening here at all. 86NS, they won that third mid, but since then, VV, they've been dominating the sides. So we got a really close match here. Really, really close match. VV's lead is about 2,700 points, but after the arc gets returned, they're actually going to be down 1,300 points. And we also have to say that there's another monster. This monster is not, I would say, super important, but it does give you that 15% more team points for the rest of the match. And in that sense, it is hugely important because it might make the difference in the match. So this monster is spawning soon. This monster got beat first. Okay, so 5 minutes left in the match. VV's trying to kill this thing with 3 marches. This is very ambitious. Very ambitious. They've got 4 more coming in. We've got about, it looks like about 9 marches from Blue. And I do think Blue's going to get here in time. Well, it's close. It's close. They got to go in. Now, again, the question here is, do you kill the enemy marches or do you kill the monster? Look at this. They're breaking off. Interesting choice by this red player to break off, honestly. Very interesting choice. Because I think they might have been able to nuke this thing down. I probably would have stayed on the monster. Another master strategy from 86NS. They're going to warp to the monster. They're warping to the monster. Look at this. They're barely warping anywhere. They're barely warping anywhere. They've got the skill points, and this is a game of inches right now. This is literally a game of inches. They're going to warp to this monster and get it. Now, it's a bit of overkill, though, because Red has no one at this monster. But Blue is seeing the possibility of getting both. Blue is now seeing the possibility of getting both monsters. And VV made a huge mistake here, guys. They made a huge mistake breaking off this monster. They should have kept killing it, and at least they would have had a chance to get this monster. They would have had a chance to get the last hit. but they didn't know. They didn't know how many blue marches were coming in because the vision for red has been terrible this entire match. So blue is going to get both monsters. That's going to give them a 15% boost that the other team will not get. Let's watch when they get this, right? They're at 367 right now. They're at 360 right now. They're about to get this 15% points boost. We'll watch it on the screen, guys. We'll watch it on the screen as soon as they finish off this monster. AoE damage from the Arbiter of Anubis is not going to be enough. These very weak blue marches, they get the speed buff that you can see, and then you see it from the points. You see it right away from the points. 505. They lose another building, though. They lose the Sky Altar again. They warped here. Look at this. Look at this, though. We said the vision of VV was terrible, but VV is counterpunching really good. They've been counterpunching really well in this match, right? When 86NS took the third mid, VV had great side play. When 86NS warped to the monster, VV just took their building. They just took their altar. Crazy stuff. 400 points more for 962. This no mark is about to run out. The no mark is probably just ran out, which makes this, yeah, it just ran out. 740, 900 point lead. They're getting 200 points per minute more, so that's like 550 points. They're getting 550 points more right now. So VV is going to come up a little bit short as it stands now. Hum from saying that they waited to cash in the Arc with the Anubis. So when you return the Arc with the Anubis, you get more points for it. Very good alpha there from Hum Farm that I didn't realize. But yes, I guess you get points for everything. You probably get points for your gatherers as well, I would guess. You're saying he's not sure about that warp to the monster. I mean, you have to assume red is going to the monster, right? You have to assume red is going to the monster. The only reason you wouldn't assume it is because they actually, I don't think they've won this monster at all. I think blue won this monster every single time in this game. Look at these marches. What are these guys doing? I guess they were fighting here after the monster or something like that. Unless I missed this. Unless, I don't know. I mean, maybe I missed which team got this monster down here. Not sure, guys. Sorry. So, it's a very close match. 250 points. The gatherers that get returned are going to be a big deal here. I think both teams probably have some gathering that they have not brought in yet. The gatherers here are waiting until the last minute. Actually, it looks like blue has brought in their gatherers, but red has not. Red has gatherers out, blue doesn't. And so red is looking spicy, guys. Red has all their buildings, whereas this building here, the Sky Altar, it's not generating points. It's so close, but I think the gatherers from VV. I mean, here's one gatherer from, yeah, that's another VV gatherer. They've got so many last minute gathering points on red that I think it's going to tip the scales and bring them to the win. Blue just could not take any buildings at the end. What a comeback by VV. Unbelievable. And here comes the gatherers. The gatherers coming in. Runziel did it with 3 marches. It was a Huo gather. He was gathering with his fighting marches. Unbelievable. Will it be enough? Sorry, guys, my webcam's blocking the score. I got to look on my other monitor. Oh, no, they just returned the Arc. Sorry, guys, I'm an idiot. I'm a friggin' idiot, guys. I've got the webcam up here. I can't see the score. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So, yeah. Oh, blue has gatherers next to the cities. Oh, it was the gatherers next to the cities. Big call by Neo. They just had their gatherers sitting next to the cities to do it at the last second. Unbelievable. Totally faked me out. Completely faked me out. So blue is just going to win comfortably. After all of that, blue just wins comfortably by bringing in 4,000 points of gathering at the last minute. Oh my gosh, they faked me out completely. Blue with the gatherers next to the cities. Good call. Wow. So there you go. What a crazy match. What an absolutely crazy match. Look at the ratio. VV just dominating them in fighting. Dominating them in fighting. But the gathering and the arc score. VV, look at all the points that 86NS got for arc by not returning it until they have the monster buff on. So they should have gotten They should have, for the 2 arcs they got the first arc and the third arc. That should be 7,000 points. Am I seeing that right, that they got an extra 1,500 points? Or did they not win the... Yeah, they won the first arc. They won the first arc, and so how did they get this many more points? That's crazy, guys. 86NS should get 7,000 points for arc, but because they returned the arc when they had the monster buff active, they got another 1,500 points? How does that even work, though? Like, 15% of 7,000 is 900. So I don't even know how this score works. Like, I don't... That's crazy, man. Yeah, we know they only got 7,000 points, right? Like... I don't know how they got this many points for the arc, but, I mean, it didn't even matter. They got the friggin' provisions. They had all those provisions. You know, we saw them gathering, and I thought they maybe had returned it, but obviously that provision score didn't make sense. And no big gathering from VV at the end also. Neo saying, yeah, the Anubis buff is crazy. Yeah, I mean, it says it's 15%, right? Like, it says that it's 15%, but I guess it's more. Algebra saying, do the monster buffs stack? I didn't think they did, but... No, it's 4,000 for the last arc. Like, we see the arc scores, right? Because VV got the second arc and they got 3,500. I mean, if the monster buff stacked, then wouldn't they get more? Like, wouldn't it be 30%, which would be like 1,800 points? I mean, it's as if they got like a 20% monster buff, is what it looks like, right? If you look at the score, this is like 20% of 7,000. It's a 20% boost. So... really interesting stuff here. I don't know why I didn't think to do this before, is return the arc when you have the Anubis buff on, but that was very powerful. Very powerful there. Didn't make a difference in the end, but also they boosted their gathering scores too, guys, right? Like, this is, you know, it's so funny, guys. It's so funny that, like, you know, I think I'm like a pretty smart person, and I think I think about arc a fair bit. But, like, the problem I have is I don't talk to other people, right? I just figure stuff out myself. And so, like, I genuinely did not think to like, return gatherers when the buff is active. And I certainly didn't think to return the arc when that buff is active. But that's really good. Yeah, 20% gives you 8,400, but, like, it's supposed to be a 15% buff, Algebra. It's supposed to be 15%. So... anyway, and like, the thing is, they got 5,000 points from gathering, but we only saw like 4 gatherers out there. They had 4 or 5 gatherers at most. And so, I feel like that's a big performance for 4 or so gatherers to get, you know, to get 5,000 points. They got 5,000 points there. So... a heck of a good performance by 86NS. I mean, they showed me a lot of stuff there. They showed me a lot of stuff. And we did see Vercingetorix get used. Not sure if it was good or not, but we did see the Vercingetorix get used. Great match. Great match there. I do appreciate everybody watching. Do throw a like on the stream if you're enjoying it. We're going to keep this stream going a little bit longer. I am going to play Champions of Olympia. Let's go through these scores real quick. Let's start in the realm of Bastet. These were the early matches. And then here's the... yeah, so we did hit it again with the House of Targaryen. It does look like DQ39 has maybe died. They somehow had... yeah, I think DQ39 has probably died. This powerful kingdom looks to have died at this point. OWR with another very impressive score. I was thinking about this the other day. We're probably underrating OWR at this point, right? For Eye of Talent in Bastet, I think we're probably underestimating OWR. They made it to the finals last season, and they are looking really good this year. Really freaking good. See, the Realm of Bastet, man. The Realm of Bastet, with everybody just betting on JST. With everybody betting on JST, and they've got 4.8 billion power. Now, I noticed that Ducky... well, okay. I forget what the... I'm sorry. I'll drop this, but I think Lost might have gotten a better arc lead this year. Lost might have a better arc lead than they had in the past, although I think Sinith was good. And then OWR is looking really good, man. OWR looks really, really good in the realm of best stat. There's not a ton of competition here. I mean, you got LB18 as well. You got LB18 as well here. So, I don't know. I don't know about JST. I don't know about everybody dumping their coins on JST here, bro. Because OWR looks really strong, man. They look really strong. E68 is a good team. So for them to really dominate E68, that's very impressive. They crushed 748W last week. And we see that 748W is not a bad team, guys. I mean, 748W beat LX17 comfortably this week. So we see that 2748 is still good. But they got smoked by OWR last week. Absolutely smoked. So OWR to me seems like a real contender. Their power's not that high, but their power wasn't that high last season either. I think this is just a team that maybe plays Arc as well as anybody. So OWR getting the win there in Bastet. Let's look at the other realms now. Anubis. So both teams from 32-13 lost. They're our allies in this KVK. They're in the fire camp. Yeah, nothing too compelling here for Anubis at this point. And then in Horus, let's take a look. I don't think the scores have updated yet, guys. I don't think the scores have updated, so. Let's just check our bets real quick. Let's see how we did on the bets. It looks like we did pretty good, guys. 3 out of 4 here for the bets. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here. We didn't bet on too many underdogs, but some solid wins here. We won with OTR, we won with AB, and then we won with War. So yeah, pretty good stuff there. Algebra saying with Gold Gear, you think it's possible for a Gather to get that many points? Arc actually looked pretty fun after watching the stream. Maybe I'll sign up for it, and then when I can't make it, just get a pilot or something. Oh, Algebra, I just assumed you were in the match, honestly. I assumed you were in there. Yeah, VV... VV did some things well, for sure. Like, their attacks in the second half of the match were very good. They worked, I didn't see why they worked so well, but they definitely worked. I think the vision was a real issue. I think, no sentries mid and no sentries at the monster was, that seems like a definite unforced error there for VV, but it was a good match for sure. Hopefully Champions of Olympia Ranked is on. It's not. Damn it. I don't know if you guys want to watch unranked Olympia. Oh, I got to reset the teams too? Is it a new season or something? Is it a new season? Oh, it is a new season. Okay. I guess I'll play unranked champions while we just talk, Yeah, the third arc fight was very interesting to me. Like, I just really don't know enough about how stuff works to know why 86NS won that third arc. I mean, their To the Death was like, like when the fight started, it is certainly true that 86NS's To the Death was active, and maybe VV's To the Death was like a few seconds later. But I don't think 3 or so extra seconds of To the Death makes that much of a difference. I mean, they were pretty centralized in the way they attacked, right? Like they were a pretty tight ball. Like they weren't spread out or anything. They were just, they were like this. They were almost like, they almost formed they didn't form a V. They were like a rectangle. They were just this like very strong rectangle attacking into VV. So I mean that's something, but now here's one thing I'm wondering is like, am I better off running Attila or Arthur Achilles or GG Achilles? I think I'm gonna run Arthur Achilles. I think Arthur is better than GG. I could be wrong though. Now we got to find BQ here somehow. There he is, right at the top. It's about Rage. Blue fought first. Red was late to engage. Neo, I appreciate all your comments. I can tell that you know a lot about Arc here. It's about rage. Blue fought first, and red was late to engage. It's a good point. It is a good. That's a very good point about why you should engage first. That's a very good point that Neo's making about why you should engage first. Your marches start swinging first. You know, your marches start generating those red swords first, and so you're building up rage faster than the enemy builds up rage. It's always, you know, it's always been interesting and notable to me that like 489, they would never, they didn't take the temple very often. They would always gather up on their side and then pick an angle and then push into the enemy. Like they would attack into the enemy, which like, I don't know, like, I mean, the rage thing is weird in Rock in a way, right? Because just in a visceral gaming sense, right? In a visceral gaming sense, the team that, oh, you know what? I forgot to change my skills. I forgot to change my skills. But yeah, like in a visceral gaming sense, I do think that like, you know, if the enemy attacks into you, it's like a garrison, right? It's like a friggin', if you're like in the castle, if you're the team that's in the castle, you have the advantage against the team that's charging into the castle. Now, in an open field fight, is that true? I mean, it should be. It should be, right? Like in the Battle of the Bastards, right? Ramsey's team had an advantage because Snow charged into them, right? Because like in the process of charging in, your army is getting stretched out. So like, you know, it's a little bit viscerally inconsistent that in Rise of Kingdoms, when you attack into the enemy, you actually have the advantage, right? And I guess you see that very consistently in open field and KVK. I hadn't really thought about it in terms of Arc before, but Neo makes a very good point that the blue team is generating rage first by attacking in. But it doesn't quite sit right with me. I mean, I don't think the game's going to change. I think the game's always going to be like that. Are we playing bots or something? This looks like we're playing bots here. Sorry about that, guy. Well, I mean, what can I do, right? Yeah, it looks like we're playing bots here. Probably. But yeah. You shouldn't have an advantage because you charge into the enemy in an open field fight. Like, I don't think you should have an advantage for that. But that is the case in Rock. That is the case in Rock. Because you just want to be attacking. You know? Would you say the primary gatherer should be the rally garrison lead? I haven't really thought about that, Algebra. I mean, the thing is, like, I can't imagine, like, Algebra, for you, that you have a player who has, like, you know, 3+ sets of legendary gathering gear. I would imagine. Maybe these guys aren't bots. I mean, it's a tie game, so maybe I should like focus. I thought they were bots because like I've never heard of any of these kingdoms, but I haven't exactly heard of too many of these on my team either. So, all right, so we got a match on our hands here in unranked Olympia as I use these infantry skills that I forgot to even use. So the mid is going to spawn soon. The thief is actually going to spawn very soon. We've still got this, so I don't really need to go there. Yeah, fire thief's coming. We'll just go to the fire thief. You know, yeah, I would say that viscerally it's a little bit disjointed that charging into the enemy gives you an advantage, but at the same time, like, aggressiveness is good. Like, it's good when video games reward aggressiveness, because if teams can just sit there and camp, that's never a good thing. So, yeah, just like a really good example here of, like, why, oh, you know what I should do? I should, like, taunt so they can't kill the thief. Look at this taunt. Look at this pro taunt that I just did. I don't even know if that was good, but whatever. It's just a good thing to remember in Rock, that you should be aggressive so that your rage can get going. Like, just always be thinking about rage. Always be thinking about rage. We'll use this. We'll use that. Oh, you know what? I didn't taunt because I completely forgot how taunt works. I didn't even taunt them. And I forgot to use this and whatever. Oh, Algebra says he can make it happen. I don't think being the rally needs like all. I mean, I think being the rally guy needs a little bit of extra focus because you do need to time when you launch your rallies. But I don't think that like, I think it's a little too, it's two very different activities, is like finding the next resource node and like figuring out when to rally. I think it's better to just have like a very strong open field player be your rally lead. Man, I'm like not thinking at all right now. Okay, so my teammate is my teammate's grabbing that. We are winning at this point. The fire thief is coming, so we'll go back to the fire thief. I assume we got this. Yeah, we got this. We'll speed boost. There's a siege player here. I imagine my teammates are gonna cover that. We'll get to the fire thief. It's probably gonna be on the enemy side, but maybe it's gonna be mid. Let's have the Sun Tzu look over here. Let's have the Huo look over here. Nobody has found the thief yet. We've only got a 1,200 point lead, so did I somehow miss it? So this guy's running. He hasn't found the thief yet. Hey. No one has found the thief yet. I'm just looking for it. I'm literally just hunting the thief. It should be spawn. Yeah, oh, I found it. There we go. All right. There we go. Look at it. I deserve this. I deserve this thief. I deserve this thief. I looked hard for it. I deserve it. The thief literally running to the enemy's the thief literally running to the enemy base at this point. This is a little bit unfair at this point. The thief literally just runs into the enemy siege marches. GG. G freaking G, man. All right, so I'm gonna taunt if I can. Yeah, I'm taunting. I'm taunting to try to kill the thief. Oh, the thief is dead. They've got the lead now because they nuked the thief so hard. There's 30 seconds left in the match. This webcam kills me, man. The webcam blocks the timer in every game mode. The webcam blocks the timer in every game mode. So I think we just lose. I think we just lose to a team that I thought were bots. If I had put the right skills on, we probably would have won. Although, to be fair, my team is pretty bad. Anyway, we lost on Ranked Olympia. All right, we need redemption after that one. No hearts for the team. I dealt the most damage to the fire thief at least. All right, let's change this. We got this. We got this. And we want this. All right, there we go. I mean, the thing with Vercingetorix being good with Sun Tzu is that, like, you break up the Sun Tzu BQ, which I think is, like, an amazing march, right? In our last KVK, I found that my Sun Tzu BQ performed pretty similarly to my QSH. Like, not quite as good as the QSH, but pretty freaking close, man. Pretty freaking close. You know, I don't have Discord open. I need to be, I think I'm missing some DMs here, possibly. Oh my gosh, look at this. I can't even drag it over. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm going to build Vercingetorix. For people who are going to build him, so I guess these support commanders are doing well with BQ as well. So, like, I know that Cortex and Chisel didn't really test BQ Vercingetorix too much, but if it ran well with Sun Tzu, I think it's probably going to run well with BQ also. And so I think what's probably going to end up happening is, and LC does pair well with Sun Tzu. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to be BQ Vercingetorix and then Sun Tzu LC. Now the only problem with that is really exactly what I said, which is that you're breaking up the best infantry march in the game. You're breaking up the best infantry march to make to make 2 infantry marches better, supposedly. You know, I think ultimately Vercingetorix is just not going to be that popular. But, you know, the idea of getting shielded as a face tanking player will continue to be appealing for me. But I'm ultimately a person who, I just keep things simple. I try to keep things simple. In the things that I do in life that I'm actually good at, which is video games, I try to keep things simple. In pretty much everything else in my life, I overly complicate things for no reason. But when it comes to video games, I do just have this theory that, like, I'm gonna play, and also poker, when I was at my best in poker, it was also the same way, which is I just had this feeling that I'm gonna be a disciplined person who sees things pretty clearly and therefore does not make as many mistakes as my opponents. And so if I just do the fundamentals in a solid way, I will gain these incremental edges moment by moment by making better decisions than my enemy, right? Like my decision right now to just walk with the enemy and get a couple of hits, get a little bit of rage. You know what I mean? We're walking to the same place. I might as well do this, right? So I don't see myself taking any sort of a risk and building Vercingetorix. I think I'm better off building Hector, which I can use with Arthur, and I can use it as David Hector garrisons, right? So that's what I'm going to do. And then we're all leadership. Everybody on my team is leadership, so I'll just buff myself, I guess. And so I don't know that I'll ever figure out if Vercingetorix is any good or not. We're going to have a couple players who do build it. They're sort of face tanking players, sort of not. So, yeah. You know what it is? This is how we're going to figure out if Vercingetorix is good or not. We're going to watch that really big KVK. We're watching that really, really big KVK that's happening in 4 or 5 days. And we'll just see how many people are running it. We'll just see how many people are running it, right? Especially in this first zone where most people are only going to have 5 or 6 marches. We'll see how many people are running Vercingetorix there. And if we see it a lot, then maybe these kingdoms have figured something out. But I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. Misclick. How's the pre-KVK going? I don't know. I think we're in like last place, so it looks like we're grinding a little bit less than some of the other camps, but it looks like we're like crushing them in this match, so yeah, we are. I don't know why I'm standing here. We got that one. That one's about to spawn, all right. These must be bots. Are these bots? No, because it's the same people we played with last time. So I'm just going to dump universals. I'm just going to dump universals into Hector. And then I'll run Arthur, Hector. And I'm going to move the fill up to... Now, I'll show you guys after this match what my issue is. Oh, this guy actually disrupted me? Bastard. The problem I have is that I have one pincer set. I only have one pincer set. So if I run BQ fill up, I'm either gonna have to use a very mediocre arch formation set, or I'm gonna have to build a very mediocre pincer formation set with the conversion stones that I currently have. Alright, so we got a good song here. I'm gonna turn this song up a little bit. Just a little. This is one of my favorite songs on the playlist, personally. So this guy has a big health advantage on us here, but we have the silence. We have the silence. It's going to be close, though. I think we lose this one. I'm going to try to stay alive long enough to give a morale boost to my teammates. There we go. Look at the QSH. Look at the tankiness on the QSH. Just melting the friggin' Boudica. Will the QSH live? The QSH lives. Let's go. Greatest March in the game, baby. So we got the easy win this time. Hopefully we can get MVP, and I think that might be our last match. QSH undefeated, gets the full heal. They're coming back on me. They want more of the smoke, but it ain't gonna happen. It wasn't enough, guys. It wasn't enough. We didn't get the MVP. Shen took it from us. We'll give him the heart. And before I play the third arc, or the third Olympia match, I will show you what my situation is. Because I haven't even quite looked at it. Alright, so here's the deal. Here's what we got. Here's what we got. We got the 90 Vercingetorix heads, by the way. So, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're ever going to build this guy. But I did steal, or I did give myself second place in Mightiest Governor. The powers of leadership, I guess. So, okay. We've got the one pincer set. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good. There's a pretty good pincer set. Let me put the chat back on the stream. This pincer set is good. This pincer set performed very well in the last KVK. Very well. The problem is our second pincer set is literally like terrible. I don't even know if I have it preset yet. Yeah, I forget who I even put it on. I mean, we just don't have another pincer set. What we have is we have this. We have this arch formation set. Which is like, you know, for what it is, I guess it's okay. But like, it's arch formation on BQ, and they're all regular inscriptions, right? We've still got some pretty good stuff over here on the wedge set. So this is the problem I have. This is the problem that I have right here. This is the problem I have. Is like, am I really going to bench this set? Like, I was planning to run Scipio LC and... I was planning to run Scipio LC and Sun Tzu BQ, right? Because this is a good set. Like, this is a good inscription set right here. And I don't have the stones to convert all of this to pincer. I don't think I do anyway. I've got 8. I mean, I've got 8. And I've got this toppler right here. I've got the toppler here. So I only need to really convert this balanced. Which, I mean, I want to convert this thing anyway because it's amazing. Like, to convert this to pincer would be fantastic, right? To convert this to pincer? What am I getting? I'm getting airtight, which is not that good. Airtight's not that good. But still, we'd like to do this. This will be good. We don't quite have the stones for it. And then we have to figure out what to do with the other with the other slots. Now, I do have a second pincer set here somewhere that I just need to find. I think I put it on Constantine. Yeah, I put it on Constantine. So this is what our best pincer is right now. We don't really see, the thing is we don't have anything to put the Toppler on. Like we genuinely do not have anything to put the Toppler on. So like we just have nothing in that slot. We have something good in this slot, and then I don't know if there's something I can apply. I don't know if I have something I can apply to this slot. But let's take a look at that. And then we have nothing in this slot. Like, literally nothing. Now, we are opening for pincer. We are opening armaments for pincer. And since since I'm talking about it right now, I'm not going to open everything, but I'm just going to open 10 of these. I'm just going to open 10 of these to see if I get anything. Because we do badly need pincer. Double inscription. Double inscription. And I think this is in a pretty good slot, right? I think that's in a pretty good slot. I think it's in like the top right, I think. All right. I mean, I think that's in the top right slot. Guarded. Guarded is not bad. Guarded is decent. Guarded is decent. Let's see what this double gives us. Let's see what this double gives us here. Payback and Warcry. I think this is Barbs, right? Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Oh. Why do they always do this to me? Look at the cab defense roll. Very good. But that's not going to do anything, really. I mean, that's not doing anything for us. Yeah. Oh, it was this slot anyway. It was this slot. I get these two confused all the time. I always get these two confused. Wait, so did we just get something for Toppler? No. Or did we? No. Where was that good roll that we just got? Where's that good roll we just got? This? I guess it was this. All right, so we did, yeah. So that's the issue, guys. I don't know what people think. Let's see what chat says. But do you want to do that before Pincer 2 arrives? Good point, Dutone. Very good point. Very good point. No, I don't. I don't want to do that before Pincer 2 arrives. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah. So like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I could just not build Hector. I could just not build anybody. You know, I don't have that many gold heads. I don't really have that many gold. I mean, I have 1,000. I have 1,000 gold heads, and for the new Cav, I'm probably gonna need like 1,250, 1,300, because I'll get some from MGE, right? I'll get some from MGE, but I'm probably not gonna get first in the Cav MGE. So, I mean, the thing is, if I were to spend like 600 gold heads on Hector for this KVK, then I'd be down to like 400, and I probably would not have enough gold heads to insta-max both new Cav commanders. And building Hector is simply going to mean that I go from running Arthur Philip to running Arthur Hector. I think that's all that I can really change. I don't think running BQ Philip with this armament set is anywhere near as good as running Scipio LC with this armament set and putting Philip with somebody else, namely Arthur. Do I need a garrison for my KVK? I mean, not really. I mean, I have Attila David. Like, listen, I'm a Cav garrison player. I have a very good Cav garrison, right? I have a very, very good Cav garrison, right? I've got a super good armament set here. Okay, and my gear is basically maxed. Like, it's as close to maxed as yeah. I mean, I have the garrison, right? But David, I mean, David Hector is like, you know, it's better against just the rally. And, you know, I could be like a backup in a pass, right? I could be a backup Garrison in a David Hector pass. And in Arc, I can run Gorgo Hector, right? Because, you know, my Gorgo does get play in Arc. As like I join infantry rallies, and then we switched my Gorgo Constantine in garrisons, right? So in Arc, it would also help to have Hector. Hector, you know, Hector is like sort of useful for me, but like as I'm thinking it through right now, as I'm talking it through, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's such a minor upgrade. It's such a marginal upgrade to get Hector to pair with Arthur and as like a backup garrison situation that I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth all those gold heads. Especially when Hector is the kind of commander that you can just slowly get from bundles and stuff like that. You can get it from bundles. I don't think he's in Alliance Mobilization. I don't think this dude is in Alliance Mobilization. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, I was looking for Hector last time in Alliance Mobilization, and I didn't see him. So I don't know why he's not in here, but he's not. So it's a little slow to get the Hector heads for sure from spending and stuff like that, but I mean, I've been getting there. I'll show you where he's at right now. Yeah, I mean, I've got 110 Hector heads. So like if I build this guy manually, I'm basically never going to build him. If I build him manually, I'm never going to build him. I don't know. It doesn't seem worth it. It really just does not seem worth it. With new cap coming out. Yeah, he's in Legendary Tavern. I've been getting him in Tavern as well, right? I've been getting him in here. With these. But maybe I should just stop doing that. Like, maybe it's just a waste. Where is he? He at the top? I thought I was getting... Oh, yeah, here he is. Hector. I've been getting him in here, but I mean, this is really slow. And I don't want to make the same mistake that I made with Ragnar Prime. Like, look at this guy. I mean, he's like... This is all from, like, bundles and Legendary Tavern and, you know, Alliance Mobilization. Like, I got close, but I'm like, never going to max this guy. You know what I mean? So... I don't want to make the same mistake with Hector, honestly. I really don't. But maybe I'm just going to skip Hector. Maybe I just skip Hector. And Vercingetorix. Like, I thought I was just going to build this guy. My plan was just to build this guy and pair him with Arthur. But he doesn't seem any good. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. But let's play one more game of Olympia. I need to find somebody to raid once my stream is over. Hopefully I can actually get the raiding working this week. Looks like Musa Gaming is streaming. Okay, we can raid him in a few minutes. All right, we're 1-1. We're 1-1 in Olympia. We need to win this last match here. This is low-key one of the best maps. I didn't love this map at first, but this is actually low-key a really good map. It's just very fight-oriented, and you just make short little decisions that are pretty good. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting a little bit. Now we'll engage this guy, because we know the enemy, or we know our teammate is focusing on them. We give ourselves a morale boost. He chases. I'm just staying on him. I don't know. Look at this guy. Look at this dude. Look at this teammate, bro. Oh my gosh, shame on you. Shame on you, Zweer. So I guess we got outmaneuvered there, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, our teammate didn't even attack, so it's hard to say. And we had two guys down there. So we were outnumbered. I think that was 4-2. I think we lost 4-2 right there. Hey, yeah. Gromy says that he thinks Verk will be a good spot in players with 3 marches. That could be. I mean, that could be. That could be. Yeah, I mean, if he's doing well with BQ and Sun Tzu, then there's things you can figure out there. But... All right, so we just lost both of these. Did we get this one at least? Oh, we're just getting destroyed. Okay, we're just... I'm gonna, like, without knowing exactly what I should be doing... Okay, I think some of these enemies are, like, really freaking good. Let me just 1v1 this motherfucker. Oh my gosh, we're getting destroyed. The one dude has actual good movement. Like, what is this? I mean, they took every single one of these. Wasn't it? I don't know. I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, guys? What are you gonna do? I'm using... See, I'm not even attacking right now. There's something to be said for being locked in and not letting the circumstances around you affect you, because I definitely got affected here by the fact that we're losing 10-1 in this match. But I think my teammates are terrible. I'm pretty sure my teammates are terrible. Like, this guy sucks, and this guy has no marches. Like, he has newbie marches. So yeah, I mean, it's 5 SOC players against... I mean, this guy's running... I mean, forget it. Yeah, I mean, we got 3 teammates who are literally awful. So, and that's it. That's gonna be the end of it right there. Hiya, hiya, unranked Olympia, baby. Get those gold heads and get out. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much gonna be it, I think. I need to do Thief Catcher later, but I'm gonna take a bit of a break. Oh, you know what I need to do? Oh no, I'm still generating crystals. That's good. We'll do a travel quest real quick. I do hope everyone is having a good holiday weekend. And I appreciate everybody who tuned into the stream. It's always nice to have so many people watching the coverage of Osiris League. I think we had a good match. I will be curious to check my audio later, because the audio was pretty loud there. The audio was pretty loud, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, be sure to throw a sub my way. My output these days is pretty good for content. We're doing live streams every Sunday, either on my channel or the official Rock channel for Osiris League. I'm putting out Osiris League bets every Friday. And we've got a pretty good KVK coming up soon, so I'm hoping to make some videos about that, just to see what the meta is, right? See what the meta is at the A Kingdom level. It's going to be different than the Imperium, the big Imperium KVK. So it'll be interesting to compare how our war plays out with how their very big war plays out. And until next time, I will see you all on the flip side.